morning. See, I'm on my way to another photographic location. Let's see, I'm in Richmond, Virginia, and right now I'm headed down to a pretty popular landmark. It's called the James River Train Bridge, and it's one of the more popular destinations here. It's probably about 30 minutes after sunrise, but it's probably still a pretty good time to come out here because it sits at a pretty low elevation, as you can see from the landscape. So I have a little bit of a hike to get down to the bridge. And then because it sits so low, it takes a while for the sun to actually come up and actually hit the bridge. I would have liked to have gotten here just a little bit earlier. Bank here, and I'm making my way down to my my location. See if I can find a decent composition. You can see it's a pretty scenic area. And straight ahead is the bridge itself. So I'll make my way further down and see what I can come up with here. Okay, right now it looks like we're getting a break in the clouds, and we're getting some halfway decent light. So I'm going to go ahead and fire off an exposure. I'm using a 3-stop ND grad filter to hold back the highlights in the sky, and I'm using a 6-stop solid ND filter to give me a longer exposure. That's going to give me about 2 seconds, and that'll be enough to smooth out the water and give me a nice, smooth, silky look. So let's see what we get here.
Never up, never down, never. Like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I always do. I never think, I always do. Never thought I wouldn't jump, oh what a fool. But if I fall, I will get up again. I will get up again.
All right, that looks good. I'll probably fire off a few more from different angles and see exactly how they look and compare them all.
All the things you did to me, you showed me what it's like to fall in love. Only you could set me free. I didn't think that I could ever get enough. You know it can be frustrating. How could it be that?
Okay, I fired off one more shot. Basically the same settings as before, just a slightly different composition. I used a 6-stop ND filter to give me a longer exposure, this time of about 4 seconds, at f-stop 11, and also a 3-stop soft grad filter to hold back the highlights in the sky. And the image looks pretty good. We'll get back home and get back in the studio and process these in Lightroom and in Photoshop, and hopefully we should have some a pleasing image.
Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I always do. I never think, I always do.
Okay, now I'm going to move to a different location. I'm going to photograph the bridge again, but I'm going to go to a higher elevation and further away, The visual perspective is pretty interesting from this particular point. You're basically peeking through a wooded area, and the bridge is right in the center of this wooded area in the distance. I photographed it once before, but not at this particular time of day. So I'm going to try that today, and hopefully it will yield some good results. Okay. Well, I'm leaving this particular location right now. Headed to the next site and hopefully better composition. I have a little bit of a hike to get out of here, but as far as I'm concerned, it's well worth it. So, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Never thought I wouldn't jump. Oh, what a fool. But if I fall, I would get up again. I would get up again. Stronger than I ever been. I would get up again. Stronger than I ever been. I would get up again. Stronger than I ever been. I can see everything clearer. Trying to fly 'cause I'm light as a feather, but I can't hide.
Okay, I've arrived at the next location that I was referring to earlier. If you look in the back, you can see the James River Bridge right here. Unfortunately, I've lost most of the light, so I'm pretty much going to have to deal with what I've got. I'm using a 200 millimeter lens. I'm zoomed into about 180 millimeters, and I'm using a 3-stop ND grad to hold back some of the brightness in the sky. Okay, I'm using a f-stop 8 at about 30th of a second. So I'm going to take this exposure and see what I come up with.
And it kinda feels like wasting something that was good right from the start. Let me tell you that I still wanna hold you, hold you, hold. I still wanna hold you, hold you, hold. Baby, let me hold you, hold you, hold. I still wanna hold you, hold you.
All right, that looks good. Because we're at a distance, we're actually getting a little bit of a hazy atmosphere, and that may lend itself to a pleasing look in the final image if it's edited correctly. So, well, I guess this will probably be my last one for the day. So I guess I'll be packing it up and going in. Okay, if you've enjoyed the video, please don't hesitate to comment, like, and hopefully you'll subscribe. All right, until next time.
Never thought